Hi guys. Today I'm doing a short review of an initial coin offering called Sparkster. It's going to be a short review because I have been following the project and I have done the walkthrough at their platform. Sparkster is a blockchain project where you can create apps, smart contracts without coding. They are promising 10 million transactions per second. They have already achieved 50,000, which is pretty great. They are raising $30 million. 24.3 million have been raised during private sales without bonuses and 5.7 million is going to be raised at crowd sale. Whitelisting is divided to proof of love and lottery. I am going to show now the platform and everything.
Hi guys, I'm Shabir. Welcome to this Sparkster tutorial. We're going to walk through all of the basics that you need in order to create software without writing any code. So let's get started on our journey. We're going to begin by actually showing you the design interface. Here you can design your dreams the way you want them to look and feel. You can customize it however you'd like. We're going to show you that. Then we're going to take a trip behind the scenes and show you where the magic really happens. All the blocks that enable you to create software without writing any code. We'll show you all of that as well. And then we're going to show you all the components that you can actually use to build more complicated software. But today we're actually going to start by enabling you to create a calculator that takes in a few numbers and adds or multiplies them. Sound fair enough? Let's get started on our journey to become software engineers.
So we're going to begin our tour here on how to create a calculator function. Let's get started. A function basically takes some inputs and gives you some outputs. We're going to click here on widgets. When we click on widgets, you're going to see a series of options. Widgets are where we're able to add functionality to our software. This could include various types of different components. This could include, for example, social, maps, charts, and a series of other elements. We're going to click on container. A container is basically an element that allows us to add components within it. So for example, think of a real life container and what you can put in it. You can put cups in it, you can put different types of stuff in it. The same way we're going to create a container and we're going to put in buttons and fields in it. So let's create that container. Click OK. So now let's add some fields. So we're putting something into our container. Let's add some fields. Let's click here and then let's add some numbers. So we're going to add a number. When we click on number, you're going to see something pop up on the left side of your screen, and then on the right side you're going to notice something as well. We clicked on number and we got a number one field on the left side. This is the interface. And on the right side, you see actually what's going on behind the scenes. Notice when we click number one, we got a block that said create and display number one as a number. Now we're going to repeat the process and actually add number 2. And you're going to see a new block pop up. Let's do that. So let's click the number field once again. Now you see number 2 pop up on the interface on the left hand side. And then on the right hand side, you got create and display number 2 as a number field. And now what we're going to do is we're going to create a results field. So we're going to have number 1, number 2, and then we're going to do something, either add them or multiply them. And when we do that, we're going to want the result to be popped up on the screen. Let's do that. Let's click on result, and now we have a new box here. Notice that when we clicked the button for result, the number field, we got another box on the right side of the screen behind the scenes. So create and display result as a number field. Let's add a button that lets us do some functionality with those numbers. Let's do an add button. So we added the add button, and now we're going to add a multiply button. Let's hit that right there. So we have number 1, number 2, result, and also we've added some buttons at the bottom, add and multiply. So now your interface is coming along. It looks great, but let's make it look even better. So how can we do that? You'll notice here that we have some blocks that correspond to all of the different features of our interface here. This is software here that you've created, and you did it all without doing any coding. And everything here is written in plain English. I want you to notice that. So let's notice the inputs. The inputs here are going to be number 1 and number 2. And then we're going to have some output, which is our result. And that result is going to be based on what button is pushed, whether the add button or the multiply button. So let's do something more advanced here. Let's click on the settings, and let's make this look nice. Let's make this look pretty. When you click on the settings, we're going to go to background and actually change the background of our interface. We want to make it look nice and pretty. Let's do that. So let's pick a background from the drop-down menu. You can pick any background that you like. Let's take this one. And now you've seen that the background has changed, and it actually looks nicer. We can add more functionality there. We can make it look even prettier if we'd like. You have total control over this. Let's close out of this. And now let's pick the actual container and check out its settings. Now remember, the container is that box which contains all the other elements, the numbers, the result, the add and multiply button. All of those are contained within one of our containers right here. Let's check it out, its settings. Click settings. And now as you click settings, let's go to background to change the background image of the container. And let's check out the background image. Let's pick something. Let's pick the same thing that we picked for our original background. And let's close out of here. And you see that the container background has been updated. Now let's click on Tools. As you click on Tools, notice you have the ability to customize almost anything here. You can change the weight, you can change the style, and you can customize the interface however you'd like to. You can change its color. Let's pick that one. And you can add some more styles. You have the freedom to make this look as pretty as you like. Now, let's add some functionality to the buttons. This is where the actual magic happens in Sparkster. We actually give you the ability to add functionality to the software that you've created. It's not just an interface. We can actually create a calculator here, and you can also create more advanced software as well. But here you can actually add functionality to the add button and the multiply button, and we're going to do that now. So behind the scenes here are your blocks of logic. Everything is in plain English right before your eyes. So now we're going to add a when block. And this is basically going to say when the add button is clicked, do something. So what do we want to do? Well, let's do something. Let's hit set. We're going to click on set section, and we're going to add a block here, and this block is going to enable us to actually add the two buttons, add the two number one and number two result field into the result field. So we want to set the result equal to number one and number two. So let's do the same thing for multiply. Set result equal to number one, and let's put number two, and we are multiplying them, so it is multiplying. So you got the add button here. The result will equal number one plus number two, and you can see that the display button labeled add will correspond to this result. So when add is pushed, we'll get number one plus number two, and in multiply, we'll have number one multiplied by number two when the multiply button is hit, and the result field will populate with that result. So let's close out of here. And now you're back in the interface. Let's click preview to see what we did. Code in plain English. And now you're back in the interface. Let's click preview to see what we did. And now we have the add and multiply buttons that will have the functionality that we just added. So let's put a number in number 1. I don't know, let's take a pick. Number 5. And let's put 5 in number 2 as well. And so we're adding them, so you get 5 plus 5 equals 10. And now let's multiply them. So 5 times 5 equals 25. And you can go on and on with this. So let's change the numbers in the next field. So let's do 15 times 5, or adding or plus 5, so you get 20, and multiplying you get 75. There you have it. You just created a piece of software all by yourself without writing any code in plain English.